Hi, darling. I'm almost ready for you. Give me my kiss.
Nobody's cooked breakfast for me in 3 years. Hardly anybody. Scones!
Yes, well, I thought it should be a little special occasion, being it's your first morning home for breakfast. Oh, do you want help with those?
No, I got them. Thanks.
Oh. How is your ankle this morning?
It's a little better, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Do you still go to Mass every day?
Every morning I can. Notice I'm not asking you if you still go every Sunday.
Moving right along. Where's Daddy?
Oh, your father. He's taking little John up to Miss Misha Shaw. She's taking him on a boat ride around Manhattan Island. Well, to be more accurate, actually, the dog is walking them both up to meet Mrs. Shaw.
Oh, he is big, isn't he?
Oh, Siobhan, that is the biggest dog I've ever seen in my life.
Little John likes him, though. Weren't they funny together last night?
Yes, they were.
Little John's all right. I woke up this morning and he was standing right beside my bed with his little face about 3 inches from my nose. I said, hi. And he says as if he's trying to remind himself, Aunt Chiffon? He gave me this great approving smile, turned around and walked right out the door. He left me feeling like he liked me and I'd just done something great.
Yes, I know that feeling. That's a trait. I believe that he inherited it from his father.
Does he ever get to see Frank?
Siobhan, Francis spends time every day with little John. When he's home, that is.
I wasn't trying to be critical.
Well, I gotta tell you, Finn McCool and I, the sensation of Riverside. Good morning, Princess. I'm sorry it took so long.
That's all right, dear. Do you want eggs?
Yes.
Good morning there, Finn.
We ran into just about everybody we know. Scones,
We'll have a
scones. Listen, I thought George at the newsstand was going to run right out and take him away from me. And Mr. DeVoe came running out of his store to see who he was. And Norma Greenberg fed him some corned beef. Jim Burke stopped the patrol car in the middle of the street and ran over to ask me where I got him. Darling, everybody is so happy you're back. Mwah. Oh, and Norma said to remind you she loves you a lot, and please come by to see her when you get a chance.
I thought I'd make a neighborhood tour this afternoon.
Oh, why not?
That's full of heaven.
Oh,
Finn, you idiot!
no, please, don't scold him. No,
Don't scold him, John.
Well, it was right under his nose. I mean, how was he supposed to know it wasn't his?
John, everything is under that dog's nose. The top of the stove is under his nose.
He knows better, Ma. He really does. He just hasn't settled in here yet. Oh, look at him. He feels guilty.
Sure.
He doesn't look guilty to me. He looks hungry. Would you two mind telling me what we're going to do with a dog 140 pounds in a place this size?
You don't like him.
Oh. Now, John Ryan, you just stop right there. You're not going to put me into the role of a dog hater.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid Finn was a bad mistake.
Oh, sweetheart, you couldn't leave him to starve to death on the streets of Seattle.
I hardly think the only alternative was to drag him 3,000 miles up to a city in the apartment of New York City.
What are we getting so upset about, darling? So the dog helped himself to a little breakfast. I mean, a couple of eggs, a few hunks of bacon.
Oh, yes,
we are getting
right.
upset, and it's because of me again. Trouble as usual. This time, I wanted things to be different. Ma, will you sit down for a minute,
All
please?
right, dear. I'm sorry. I'm so upset. Oh.
I left here 3 years ago to finish school up in Washington State because it was about as far from New York as I could get.
Yes, I know.
And I know the last winter I was here at home was hard on you guys. But it was hard on me, too.
We understood that, Siobhan.
And contrary to popular opinion, I did not enjoy making trouble all the time, and I didn't want to fight with Mary either.
Nobody ever thought you did.
I thought a little distance would help. You know, we'd all grow up and things would get better.
Yes.
I know you love me. On my better days, I know it anyway. But I want you to approve of me, of who I am, even though I'm not Cass, and I'm not Frank, and I'm not Pat or Mary. I came back here to see if you could.
Siobhan.
Only look, I messed it all up bringing this dog home.
Now, wait a minute. Come on. The dog is one thing. We'll solve his problems later. It's your position in this family that's under discussion right now.
I really want to make this work. I want to feel a part of things and stay.
Darling, this is your home. Everything's gonna be all right.
I hope so. It's Mary I'm worried about.
Worried? How?
I want to be her friend. I want to be her sister.
Well, darling, why don't you just say as much to her? She'll be here in an hour or so.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Hey, you know what I want to do?
I bet if we wait patiently, he's going to tell us.
I want to throw a party. I want to throw a family party in honor of Siobhan's coming home.
Oh, no.
We'll have Kathleen and Art up from Pittsburgh. As soon as Frank gets back from his tour.
That's a grand idea.
I wish I'd gotten here before Frank went campaigning.
How's my candidate this morning, huh?
Doing pretty well. How's my campaign manager?
Never better.
May I say that I enjoy being with you this hour of the morning?
Thank you. Feelings mutual.
And may I say also, without causing undue panic and remembering our agreement, I love you.
That's mutual, too, as long as we both understand what it is we're talking about.
No plans, no promises, no commitments beyond being good for each other and caring for each other as long as it is appropriate. Ah, it's a lovely morning. It's going to be a terrific day, and I feel about 16. Cut out my tongue.
What are you talking about?
References to age make me nervous.
You know, you mean that, don't you?
Oh, you better believe it.
It's incredible.
What?
Well, I'm always surprised whenever you say something stupid like that. Not that you do it very often, but...
Thank you. Funny, you know? I'm always telling Polly, when you get to be a grown-up, chronological age is just a question of bookkeeping. Love is love, people are people, age is irrelevant.
So what's your problem?
I have a little trouble believing it when it comes to myself. Specifically, you and me.
You really are crazy.
No, actually, I'm not. When you think about it, it's quite logical. When you consider that nearly all the men in my life, mainly Bill, have been father figures of one sort or another. You're no father figure.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
There have been one or two exceptions, of a purely physical nature. I had a couple of affairs when I was married to Bill. One lasted several years, one lasted several months. I was fond of both men. Neither one of them ever engaged my head or my heart. I guess I thought of them as creature comforts. You don't approve, do you?
No, I'm surprised again.
Because you know how much I love Bill.
Yeah.
Love had nothing to do with it. Bill and I had nothing to do with it. I can't tell what you're thinking.
I was admiring your candor.
Oh. Well, my friend, there's very little you don't know about me. And I hope someday I'm going to be able to say the same thing about you.
Oh, I think you know everything. That counts.
Yeah? I'm coming! Look politically
I will
distracted.
certainly try.
Ray, is
Bob.
Frank here?
Bob, this is terrific. Come on in. We weren't expecting you till this weekend.
Well, I've got to get back this afternoon anyway. I got a few checks here for Frank, or else the sheriff's going to come arrest the candidate.
Well, sit down and have some breakfast with us. Frank and I just got together to get the day organized.
Any news from home?
No, not much. Nothing you don't already know. About Alicia, I mean.
Oh, yes, we were terribly disappointed when she decided she had to leave us, but I'm sure she had her reasons.
Yeah.
Well, if you two will excuse me, I'm going to go to my room and collect a few things. See you in about 20 minutes, Senator.
All right, Ray.
Really do wish you could stay around, Bob. There's an awful lot you could be doing.
Yeah, well, you can save it for me, Ray.
Right, you're on.
Alicia told you why she left.
Yeah. I didn't mention it to anybody, of course.
I felt bad about it, Bob. But there was no way to explain it. There was no way to ask her to stay on the job.
Well, if you had asked Frank, I don't think she would have stayed anyway.
You don't understand, do you?
No. No. But it's your personal lifestyle. I just figured I'd better if I mind my own business, you know.
Come on, Bobby. Jill made it very clear to me that the campaign, the Senate, and all the rest of it have made a difference. She feels as if there isn't enough room in my life for her, and that whatever time I do have, she doesn't want to share. She told me to call her after the election. Now, we both know what that means, don't we? I like Ray. I always have. She likes me. I find her attractive, and that's mutual, too. We spend a lot of time together. We share many of the same interests. We care for one another. There are no strings, no commitments. You don't approve?
Well, what the hell am I supposed to say? What about Edmund?
My only problem with Edmund is with Edmund's mother. I tried, Bobby. I tried every way I knew how to make it work with Jill, but the truth is she doesn't want the person I am, and I cannot change who I am or what I want. Not now. It's too late, Robert. Ray accepts me for who I am and what I want. And believe you me, after the last 6 months, that comes as a very welcome relief.
Yeah, a big relief from Jill, right?
That's exactly what I mean.
Come in. Good morning.
Is it?
What's the matter?
I'm pregnant, and I don't want to be.
When did you find out?
The lab called an hour ago,
You had a test?
yesterday. I don't know what to do.
Look, how many weeks is it?
6 weeks.
Okay, then you don't have to do anything. There's time. I mean, you don't have to come up with an answer today.
Jill, I don't want a baby. Not yet. Not why Tom and I are so up in the air. And I won't have an abortion.
Okay?
And I can't see putting it up for adoption, and I don't think I can raise the child alone. So there I am with Tom.
And of course, he's thrilled.
He doesn't know yet.
Nothing? I mean, he doesn't even suspect?
I was afraid to say anything. I feel like I have to take a stand before I tell him. Jill, he's going to be out of his mind with joy. Really, he wants children more than anything else in the world. He'll be loving and sweet, and he'll have plans for the next 20 years, and I'm going to have to stop him and set limits. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Faith. Look, do you want to get a divorce?
I want him safe until this immigration thing is straightened out. That means we're together for a year. In a year, the baby will be born. We'll be parents. We'll be tied closer than ever. Oh, everything you said is all coming true.
No, wait a minute.
Now, he's been good for you in a lot of ways. But he hangs on so tight. Do you love him? I mean, at all? Yes. But I think I love him more as a friend than a husband. Because of the anger? It all starts when he's not sure of me. And he gets the slightest bit jealous and he's mad enough to kill. Oh, he'd never hurt me or a baby. I know that. But I can't live facing public scenes and private rages. He actually yanked Pat away from me at Bucky's party last night. When? It was before you got there. Pat and I were singing, of all things. And Maeve was sitting there. We were just having fun. And he very innocently put his arm around me. The next thing I knew, Tom jerked it away, and he looked like he'd shoot anybody that dared touch me. No, not anybody, just Pat. And I had to stand there feeling so sick and faint because I'm pregnant with this man's child. And he acts as if I'm one step away from committing adultery. Look, are you on duty today? Yeah. Okay, I want you to go home. I want you to take a nap and a good hot bath. And then I want you to tell Tom. I have to, don't I? Yeah. That's first. I mean, you have 9 months to set limits for yourselves. You're right. Will you let me know what's going on? Oh, of course I will. I'll probably end up in a heap on your doorstep. Hey, that's all right, too. Thank you. You take care. I will. Bye.
Hi. Ma said you wanted to see me.
Do you have a few minutes?
I've made a few minutes. I had to get out of that office before I lost my mind or my temper or both.
You're Frank's second press secretary?
For the city of New York. You would think that things would be easier with him out of town. Wrong. It only means that we communicate with Ray and Frank by phone, which increases the margin for error for the second press secretary. Listen, I'm glad you're home.
Thank you. First thing I want to say is that I'm sorry about last night.
No, I'm sorry about last night.
But it was my dog, or rather the dog I gave to Daddy, that chewed up your baby's sweater, so I guess I should say that I'm sorry first. And about your baby.
Yeah?
As a general rule, I am not impressed by people her age, but Mayor, she's terrific.
Thank you.
Jack's okay, too.
Well, I like them both. I'm glad that you do.
I wish I'd gotten things off to a better start.
Listen, it takes more than one evening to unsettle Jack. And Ryan didn't know anything about it.
The other thing I want to say is I want to explain to you exactly why I'm here.
Okay.
It has a lot to do with you.
With me?
My last year in Seattle was not so good, and it wasn't just because of the job and the strike and the rest of that. But I really wanted to come home. As a matter of fact, I missed New York, and I missed all of you. And I wanted to see if I could come back and things couldn't be better, especially between you and me.
I'd like that too, Siobhan.
I don't want to fight. And I don't want to compete with you if that's possible. And I don't want to try to live up to you or try not to live up to you. I would just like to be your sister. Only I messed it all up right at the start by bringing home the dog.
I didn't help much by overreacting. But I just got so mad because I thought it was such a stupid thing to do. But Da is crazy about him. You were right about that. And he will love taking Finn around the neighborhood every morning. But you have to walk a dog more than once a day. And feed him and keep him out of the kitchen and keep him out of the bar. And what's the health department going to say about an Irish wolfhound at Ryan's? And Ma is the one who's going to end up taking care of the dog, which is why we never had a dog when we were kids, which you knew perfectly well.
Anything else?
Like what?
Well, what I wanted was for you to say all that, which was right and justified, I guess, but then maybe to go on and say that you understood why I hated to leave Finn in Seattle and why I wanted Johnny Ryan to have him. And that you remember Daddy saying when we were little kids that when we'd all grown up and left him, he wanted to get himself an Irish wolfhound. And that maybe you remember him hanging around the dog shows all the time and watching them and laughing and wanting to take one home. And I guess I even wish that you'd say you were sorry I got in trouble with Mother last night about this whole thing instead of sitting there ever so slightly pleased that I'd managed to upset her on my first day home.
Siobhan, that is sick.
It's all so true, isn't it?
No, it is not.
Do you know what I'm looking for, Mayor? A little honest feeling between us. And I don't care if it isn't nice. Just something simple and direct between us.
I think you're looking for a fight. And I'm gonna pass on that one this afternoon, if you don't mind.
Okay. I'll see you around. I'm gonna go out for a walk.
Tonight, meet the not-so-happy couple. She hears wedding bells, but he won't commit. Sounds like a job for the guy who wrote the book on relationships. An all-new Greg Barron's Wake Up Call, part of Sugar Free Valentine's, tonight at 10 on SoapNet.